And I think in those early stages, once you've proven that hypothesis, then you can start really going to the market and just seeing how it works in a smaller scale. Sometimes it's possible to do that, when you have good trade partners. Remember, at the time we will work with Lowe's or Home Depot and say, can we do a soft launch of something in a given area? All the way to just putting this in the open market and see how it works in that first version, so you can really scale.
Often we're so used to working with vast quantities of quantitative data. Like, we have our sales figures, you have your customer satisfaction and return numbers, you have your manufacturing quality data, like whatever, we're swimming in data. In my experience, that often doesn't always really help us prove our point of view or disprove our point of view, especially when we're talking about something new. So what kind of data do you look for to help prove your point of view, to help get the whole team on side, all the stakeholders on side who are going to have to deliver a new concept?
I think that varies in the level of maturity that the idea you have has. In very early stages, I think you're really just doing some soft testing, with concept testing with consumers, and just really taking a bunch of ideas that you can turn into concepts, and then rank those concepts to say, okay, I have this bunch of things that I want to test. Once you narrow that down, I think it's really about what is the key question that we have to validate. What must be true for this product or this idea or this concept of our business? What must be true for us to be successful at it? And really try to eliminate all the noise and really focus on that kernel. And, I think depending on the type of environment you're on, when you're in a digital environment like we were at Allstate, you can do it through an app, you can do it through a user group, you can do a fake website. When you are in an environment like Whirlpool or mine, you have to build a physical prototype and put people in front of it, and maybe put the product in a set of homes, so you can test it. I give you an example of probably one of the most successful ideas at Whirlpool of that. And I think in those early stages, once you've proven that hypothesis, then you can start really going to the market and just seeing how it works in a smaller scale. Sometimes it's possible to do that, when you have good trade partners. I remember at the time we will work with Lowe's or Home Depot and say, can we do a soft launch of something in a given area?
Sure.
All the way to just putting just this in the open market and see how it works in that first version, so you can really scale the product into a model line or so. So, I don't know if I was able to address your question 100% where you were going to, but I think it really varies depending on the stage in which you're on and the market that you're trying to address.
Well, I think you certainly touched on what I consider to be a pretty critical step, right? Which is getting in front of customers in various ways and seeing what happens, and doing it at a time at which you can still iterate. You dropped the leading comment, so let's go there. It sounds like you did something pretty interesting at Whirlpool, which we think of as a big, big, heavy appliances and hardware. It feels like something hard to test and iterate on. What happened there?
I like this example because it really tells a story about this prototyping of innovation. And the story goes that we were going through this transformation, and somebody comes with insights, and one of the insights is we always target women, and they are the decision makers when it comes to appliances. So let's flip that, let's flip the orthodoxy, and what will happen if we target appliances for men? So all kinds of ideas came up, a refrigerator for beer, and this and that, and it looks more masculine and what have you. So we put a bunch of appliances in homes in the area, St. Joseph, Michigan, small town, and through observing what consumers were doing, we noticed that in addition to using the product for the beer or maybe some extra freezer space, they were using the space as counter, because there are always tools in the garage, so it became a piece of furniture. We will go there and say, seems that they can leverage that. So why don't we put some hooks in the product so people can use that counter in a productive way? Long story short, what that drove is really an organizational brand called Gladiator brand, and really it's a retrofit for garages to organize your garage and make it not only look beautiful but be functional. And
Interesting.
to tell you how an idea that was completely different took us in a different direction by observing the consumer behavior.
And what was the magic insight? Because that is still a leap, right? You're observing the consumer behavior. You could easily have gone down the path of saying, oh, okay, like this has to be furniture as well. We're going to make sure that, you've, like you said, you've got your hooks, you got your flat space, et cetera, and kind of left it at that. So how did that magic insight pop up where like, oh man, there's a problem, there is a pain around organization, storage, and utility in the garage space?
It was really, I think, the refinement of the value proposition. So, the initial value proposition idea was appliances targeted for men. When we pivoted and said it's really an organizational brand, and we hone in on that and then continue to develop the business concept around it until we realize that's the opportunity. Now let's size the market and let's go and develop a full line. And this is almost, I don't know, maybe it's close to 20 years. So over the years now you're really refining that concept. But it was just the willingness to go there,
Yeah.
and being open to go to a market that didn't really fit with the company.